Scale, exit, repeat. Founder life hacks. These are the hacks that we do every day as founders, as entrepreneurs, and that make our life a lot easier. And sometimes you can take the entrepreneur and apply it to business, but sometimes you can take the entrepreneur mindset and apply it to your life as well and your life hacks. So that's what we're talking about today. We're just setting up here in the Fort Lauderdale studios. My co host comes in from Australia and he's going to be joining us shortly. His name is Michael Gilmore. And we're talking about life hacks. And if you're in the audience and you have that you do that makes your life easier, that can help you be successful in life, and we're not talking necessarily about business here, we're talking about personal hacks. Hey, Michael, there he is from
Hey,
Australia. How you doing?
hey,
I,
it's
I
good to
thought you would
be
like
here.
today's topic.
Yeah, I love today's topic, actually. It's fantastic. Life hacks. Oh my gosh, there are so many life hacks and things I've learned over the years, and really important ones, really important. And it's going to be a great conversation. But it's even better on the complete entrepreneur when we have people from the audience say, "Hey, I got this great hack." You put your hand up and we can have you up on stage. Isn't that great, Colin? Yeah, I think Colin's just gone. But anyway, okay, so you're
No, I'm
listening
here. I'm here.
to
I'm
the
sorry. I'm just
yeah,
setting
yeah,
up the videos as we,
not a
we record
problem.
here, and I was just setting up the video recording. It's interesting because this topic came up because, as you know, at Startup.club, when we publish an article now, it gets the number one page on Google. And so, what we're doing with Startup Club is I'm coming up with ideas of what would be some really cool articles. Like, we came up with an article about top movies for entrepreneurs, and we had 20 or so. I know, Michael, you added one in there. We
Yeah,
had
I
the
added
guy
a
from
few actually, I think.
yeah, we had the guy from 1-800 Got Junk, Brian Scudmore. We had the founder of Reebok, Joe Foster. We had the founder of Art of Shaving, Eric, and we had a lot of the guy who wrote Crossing the Chasm. So we had a lot of great responses to that article, and we were able to turn that into an article from a LinkedIn post. And what we do here on this show is very unique. So not only, if you're listening to this, not only is this a podcast that you can get on, if you go on any podcast channel, look for Start, Scale, Exit, Repeat, Serial Entrepreneur Secrets Revealed. You'll get this podcast. This is our sister podcast, and it's called The Complete Entrepreneur. But that's part of that podcast. But also, we transcribe it and we use AI, we use real and raw data to get AI to create an article. And I think we can come up with 20 or 30 life hacks. And I have a number of them I've already written down. And Michael, I think you're going to some of them. And I know you've got a few of them as well. I know you do,
Oh yeah.
Michael. I
Yeah,
love your travel
absolutely.
hack. Did you want to just kick it off with that one?
Which one? Which travel hack,
So
Kenny?
here you show up my house and you've got like this tiniest suitcase.
Oh
Your
yeah,
staff
yeah,
has the
yeah.
tiniest suitcase. I'm like, how's that
Yeah.
possible? What do you like?
Yeah.
You like? Do you like? I don't know. How do you do that?
Yeah, no, it's interesting. A travel hack is never ever take check on. Never take check on. Only have carry on. And I've done this for I don't know, 25 years now. And and I've taught my team to do the exactly the same thing. Never do check on. And the reason why is this is that when you're on a business tour, when you're going from one city to another city, the last thing you want to do is be waiting at the airport for the carousel to start up and finally your bag comes out. But worse than that, what happens if it doesn't? So what I do is I just walk straight out. And I remember I had one team member, I said to him, only take carry on. He said, I can't possibly do that. I can't possibly do that. And I said, okay, I'll leave at the airport. And sure enough, we went to a conference in Vegas, flew from Melbourne, Australia to Las Vegas. And he had to wait for his bags. And I said, see you at the hotel. Yeah. So I was already working in the hotel by the time he got there. He had problems with his bags and stuff like that, as you'd expect. And I was already working, meeting people, talking to them, and everything like that. And people say, how do you fit everything into a carry on bag? It's really simple. You make the decision before you leave. I remember I met this guy at Colin, and he had this huge bag, and I said, "Why do you have a huge bag?" He said, "I got 4 pairs of shoes in there and that sort of stuff." I said, "Why do you have 4 pairs of shoes? You're only away for 5 days." And he said, "I don't know which one I'll wear." And I said, "Make that decision before you leave." Yeah. So, for instance, I have 1 pair of shoes. The pair of shoes I wear on the plane. Yeah, that's the pair of shoes I wear, and that's all there is to it. And
You stuff a couple
it's
pairs of underwear in those shoes, and you're good to go.
yeah, I'm wearing them already, so
No, I'm
it's good.
teasing you. I'm
Yeah,
messing with you. I'm
yeah,
messing with you.
yeah. So, like for some of my hacks on the travel side, the other thing I look at my schedule and I make sure that I'm able to be in a 5-star hotel at about day 5 for a couple of days. So I arrange my schedule, and the reason why is because as soon as I arrive, I get my washing done. You may say, "Oh, it's expensive to get your washing done." Not as expensive as losing your whole case or just finding out that it's been on some other flight or whatever. Yeah, so that's much more expensive. Yeah, so I find you get your washing done, and I've been in some situations. I've been staying in Airbnb, Colin, and I was at Cloudfest in Rust, Germany. It's this tiny little village place, and there's 12,000 people at this conference, but the place is a village. And on the Airbnb, they said they had a washer and dryer, and I thought, fantastic, great. So I was there with my chief revenue officer, and in the end, they said, "No, we don't have those. We don't have a washing machine and dryer." And I'm going, "Yeah, it's on. It's see this here in Airbnb. Yes, you do have one. Yeah, that's a mistake." So in the end, my chief revenue officer and I, we hand washed everything, and we had like a laundry in the bathroom and stuff hung up on
All right.
everything, and
Before this
it was
gets a little
crazy.
dirty, I think we
But
got
you
the
just
point.
do it. You
I
just
think
do
we
it.
got the hack. We
But
got the
you
hack.
do it.
How you pack light. Let me tell you one, and then we'll jump to Jason. But I got about 7 or 8 on my list. So, as again, this isn't actually an article I'm going to write. I'm hoping to get 21 life hacks for entrepreneurs. And I'll
Yeah.
post it on LinkedIn as well, too. We'll see if we can't get some more there. But, sorry, Michael, can I jump to mine, or do you want to really focus on that underwear? You want to keep going?
No, go for it, Colin.
All
That's
right.
fine. You broke
I
up for
thought I
me
was
on my
saving
end.
your ass there or your whatever. All right.
Well, you were saving my underwear, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
This is a concept that I have, and people might find it a little strange. Okay. And we're talking about minor majors here, like just minor hacks that can make a major difference in your life. But I actually think this philosophy, what I'm going to explain to you, and this is going to be the photo it's going to be a photo that goes in front of the article on Startup Club. And it's going to feature my sock drawer. Okay. I'm obsessed with having very good socks,
I'm
but I'm
with you on
also
that.
obsessed with this idea that I should never sort socks ever. Yet I never sort
I'm with
socks because I have staff that do that. I
I'm
know
with
that.
you. I'm with you on that. It's a waste
Okay,
of time.
so I'm going to need a picture of your sock drawer too, Michael, and maybe Jason. You're going to have to show me a picture of your drawer with your multicolored Canadian socks, Jason. Okay, but so you see my sock drawer, you're going to see all these white socks. Now I would buy socks online or at the store or whatever, and I'm very particular about the socks. Okay, but when I find it, I throw all my socks in the garbage, and I buy 24 socks of white and 24 socks of black. And I've got the three. I got the gold toe black socks, and I've got the white Wander socks, or whatever. And I've got them all laid out. You're gonna find my drawer is fascinating. Like it's all laid out perfectly, whatever. But when it comes to even mentally thinking about, okay, even if I have somebody sorting the socks for me, I'm paying them $30 an hour. It takes them 20 minutes to sort those socks. Multiply that times 52 weeks a year. Multiply that times 30 years. We're talking tens of $10,000 versus just having the same pair of socks. So no sock gets out of mismatch. And I'm using the socks as an example, but I want to extrapolate a little bit on that because it's not about the socks, it's about everything in life. For instance, I when I find a pair of jeans that I like, and I found some great ones at Mott and Bow, it's online e-commerce. I simply ordered a dozen of them. I think you were at my house, Michael, when I got a Black Friday Skechers sale, and I was able to order the Sketcher black shoes, the ones that we went to buy them
Yep.
together at
Yep.
Skechers.
Yeah, we did.
And then I'm like, I really like these shoes. On Black Friday, I ordered them for $35 a pair, and I'm like, that's a really good price. So I ordered three pairs of those shoes. Now I have
Yep.
5 pairs in total of the Skechers slip-on, slip-off shoes. Look, I'm not. This is not an advertisement for any of these type things. When you
Colin.
find something you like, you just order a lot of it. And when it
Yeah,
comes to
Colin, I
sorting
agree with you.
socks, when it comes to
Yeah.
sorting socks, we don't need to waste time on it. Whether we do it or other our loved ones do it or we hire someone to do it, we don't need to waste time on it. Time is money. Socks are cheap. So why the heck do we have so many different types of socks? I'd love to see Jason's drawer too, but
Yeah,
sock
yeah,
drawer.
yeah. It'll come to Jason's thing, but I completely agree with you. If I find a good pair of shoes, I'll buy a couple of them. Yeah, others do it. I hate it when they keep on changing fashion. And I actually, the only time I've ever called up a radio station where they were talking about this with guys in clothes and all that sort of stuff, the only times I called the radio station up, I pulled over the side of the road with my car. I called them up and I said, if only I could just subscribe to clothes and I got the same things I always like to get. I'm in with that because then I don't have to think about it. That every say quarter, I get these type of clothes. They can be different colors or something. I don't know, but the same jeans. Don't give me a new version. I don't care about the new version. Don't give it to me. Just give me the same jeans I always like. And I'm a creature of habit in that regard. People say, "Isn't that boring?" And my response to that is, I do not want to have to expend one cycle of my brain on something so infinitesimal to me. I just want to move on. Like, just, I'm with you on the sock drawer, completely with you. But anyway, let's hear from Jason. Jason, it's great to have you back here, man. It's really good.
I'm appreciative that you all have this show because honestly, it's so few people that have an entrepreneurial mindset. It's like a different species sometimes. But what I would say, and it's a great species though, because for humanity to have business, there has to be people that start them. I would say I'll keep on the clothes. I'll stick to the clothes. Right now, I'm wearing my company's shirt and I have a few different with so I have my own brand and all you do is just whatever you buy a sweatshirt or shirt blank and then you just get however you want to do it. There's a lot of different ways and you just get your logo or whatever one of your images on it and I think this is great because I have essentially I'm in uniform because I'm like why should I advertise for Nike? Is Nike paying me? Maybe Michael Jordan gets paid when he wears Nike, but I don't get paid. So why am I going to pay extra? You're not even just paying and it says Nike. You're paying extra because it says Nike. Okay. So the thing is, I know what my company stands for. Okay, I know we're not doing anything that's like corrupt and like something. We're my values are aligned with my company. So why would I pay? And I'm not saying anything's wrong with Nike or something, but I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what their factories are doing. I know what my company's doing. So my preference is to wear my sweatshirt for my company and I don't have shoes yet though. Okay, or socks, but I could get that sometime
Air
if that's
Jason.
my
Air
wife
Yeah,
lets me.
Jason.
But
Jason, yeah, we agree with you. I'm wearing Park Logic shirt right now. Just to let you know, that's my company. I'm wearing the shirt because I completely agree with you, Jason. Sorry, Colin.
No, I'm saying Air Jason. I love it. No, okay, Park Logic. You're wearing your Park Logic,
Yeah,
and
I'm
I'm
wearing my
filming
shirt,
here.
man. It's easy. I just pulled it out and we've got them. So we actually got this really nice polo shirt. I can screw it up in a ball, shove it in my case, pull it out, and it looks great. It's
Yeah, of course,
fantastic.
of course, it's
And
very good shirt.
I'm always wearing them. I'm always wearing them. I don't have to think about what I'm wearing. I put my Park Logic shirt on and I'm off to work.
What's funny?
It's
So it's
just
three for three here, and maybe we're
yeah.
gonna hear from Ryan and Pierre. But 3 for 3, I'm wearing the Start Scale Exit Repeat shirt right now, and talk
But you
about I was famous. Okay, so in the book Start Scale Exit Repeat, I talk about this concept about wear the merch. Okay, and Jason, I can't tell you how much I can. We agree so much on this one. Am I going out there wearing the Blue Jays or the Maple Leafs or the Panthers in South Florida here or whatever? I'm wearing their merch and I'm like promoting them, or am I promoting my own stuff? I can't tell you how many times in an elevator somebody says, "Oh, what's start, scale, exit, repeat?" Or in prior businesses, "What's dot club?" or "What is Startup Club?" I have a Startup Club, so I have a Startup Club shirts, start, scale, exit, repeat shirts, and dot club shirts. The dot club, I think I've got, and I got pod.com shirts too. So I got a few of them. Okay, but I'll generally wear the merch every day, and they're very comfortable. There's no thinking.
Yep.
You just throw them on. And I can't tell you how many people say, but I took it a little further, Jason. I took it a little further. Okay. My car, my Tesla's wrapped with paw.com completely around my car. It's been wrapped for years. And my boat, which is on the intercoastal in Fort Lauderdale, on the other side of the boat, so my wife can never see it. She does not see it. She does not notice it. I'm certain she knows it's there. It has paw.com on the other side of the boat. Over 1 million people go by my house every year by boat. And so it's interesting that you can have these, you can wear the merch. And yeah, no, maybe you're not as cool. Oh, and here's the other thing too, Jason. Went to a pet convention and we're all wearing paw.com shirts, right? The blue paw.com shirts. I think we might have been one of maybe 3 or 4 companies out of 500 companies where the executives were all wearing their merch. Instead, the executives were wearing ties and suits and they made themselves look cool. How memorable were they? This moment came up about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, and I had an opportunity to meet Byron Donalds, who's the running for governor of Florida. And it was an intimate group of about 20 people. And I was a bit nervous because Trump with the suit thing and all that, kicking people out. And Byron Donalds is affiliated with, at least been endorsed by Trump. And I was a bit nervous, but I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to wear my startup club. I'm going to wear my startup club shirt with my suit jacket, but I took my suit jacket off because you can't see the logo. And I took it off and I took some photos with him. I talked to him directly. I had a conversation with him about startups and how in Florida they can help startups. And there it was. And now he remembers me and he knows who I am. I'm the Startup.club guy in Florida. But if I wore that suit and tie and that jacket, that's that one minor thing that you do in your life. That one minor thing doesn't cost you anything, but it makes such a big difference in your life. And that's just wear
Yeah.
the merch.
I agree with you on that, Jason, Colin. I'll tell you, because I'm at a conference like you, Colin, and you get all these people not wearing the merch. And I'm thinking, you could pay like $10,000 to go and get your name put on some wall or something like that. Or you can have your entire team walking around with the merch on and it costs you nothing. Like, seriously? Just do it. And you get lots of photos. And every time the photo goes up online and social media and everything like that, there's the merch. There's the merch. There's the merch. It's great. Love it. Okay, Ryan. Ryan, it's great to hear from you. So, on this topic, founder life hacks. Over to you, Ryan.
I'm gonna also say that I definitely have my logo on my shirts and on my golf apparel too. I think that's another big one. I don't know how
Four for
much
four.
networking you guys do, but that I've had people ask if especially if I'm joining around with a bunch of randoms. People are looking for something to talk about. That's one of the things they always bring up. But anyways, I was gonna say, and this is something that depends on what you do as an entrepreneur, but I have a very messy downloads folder and my documents folder and everything else. And I had a lot of debt essentially in that I have been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And using Claude, I saw a prompt on Twitter or X the other day, and I can't remember the exact prompt, but it was essentially like how to organize all of your folders. And I just gave it access to my downloads and my documents. And I said, let's do some housekeeping and also let's create folders and move all the files into the folders that are appropriate so that I can then go either store them long term or delete them if it's not. And also put them into a certainty. Like, how certain are you that these files belong in these folders? So within the videos folder, it had all the stuff that it thought that I should keep because it knew the context of the other projects that I was working on. So it knew that it was associated with the projects based off of the file name, stuff like that. And it made it really quick. I probably spent 15 minutes going through maybe 6 gigs of files. And so something that cleaned up my computer, my file system. I'd recommend other people do it as well.
Oh, that's great. That is really cool. I cannot stand people who have a messy file system. So you solved that problem there, Ryan. All power to you, man. That is really good. Oh boy. Yeah, bring AI into hacking here now.
Yeah, you have to bring it in, eh?
Yeah, I got to
It's
bring it
got
in
to be in
now.
the article too, right? That is
Yeah,
great. That Ryan, I love that. And I'm going to do
I
that, by the
love
way,
that one.
Ryan.
It's a great one. Like I had some of my team complaining about we get lots of support requests coming through from our hosting company. We manage millions of domain names, and they're coming through, and it's really it's a big challenge. So I just got the AI that every day it analyzes them all, categorizes them, emails a summary off to the right people, and just emails back replies for all the ones it can reply to back to the hosting company to they know that we're looking into it. And I don't have to do a thing now. And the AI just runs every single day. And I'm thinking, that's just awesome. Yeah, the workflow and AI, it's magic, man. It's absolute magic. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. So, Colin, you're going to bring a hack in with AI. You got to give one of your AI
AI,
hacks.
right? Come on. That's
Yeah.
going to be the
Yeah.
so yeah, life hack on AI. Okay, so it's AI mentality. We've done a lot of shows around AI. We've done a lot of shows around an AI mindset. We've done a lot of show. I've done an article around AI haves and have-nots and whether you should surround yourself with AI, invest the money in AI. Absolutely, the answer is yes, and I do that.
Yeah.
I'm not certain that's a hack, but living in the future and really surrounding yourself. But one of the things that I do with is the AI mindset. So when it comes to any challenge I have anywhere on anything, I first go to AI, and I never used to do that. And I do think that is a hack in the sense that I know everybody's using it, but are you using it the most you can? And let me give you an example. So I have an issue with a medical issue. I had an operation a few months ago. First thing I did is I go online and on ChatGPT, I created a chat called Doc. And I've now since then, and so I uploaded the medical notes from the surgery to the doc. And since then, that doc has grown now. That doc has become literally, it knows I've uploaded every single medical document about my entire life into this AI now on this directory. Okay. And it knows everything about me. Now, it got so big that I ran into some issues, which I did some research. So I asked it to summarize my entire medical history, and then and I took that summary and created a
Colin,
new
I think you
AI
must be
chat.
watching Networked, by the way.
Networks? What do you mean? Sorry. Anyway, I took the entire summary and I put
Yeah,
it
I
into
think
a new
you're
chat,
swapping
and it was.
networks just then.
Is it me or is it Jason? Am I the one or is it
No, I think it might be you, Michael. I can hear him
Michael? I think
fine.
it's the
So go ahead,
Australian. It's the
Colin.
Australian loop. There's only one connection going to
Jason
Australia, and I
or
think
Ryan, can you hear Colin
s-
okay?
I can hear Colin okay.
Yeah, I
everybody
can
hears
hear him
me
fine.
fine.
Yep.
Somebody on a bicycle rode over the fiber optic that connects Australia.
I'm okay. So it must be me. It's Australia.
All right. So anyway,
Yeah, I
but what
think
I was
so.
getting at is having an AI
Okay, go
mindset,
for it.
Brian.
Continue
I
on.
love the way you did with directories. I love what you did there. Having an AI mindset, but not only for your business life, but for your personal life. Creating a doc, creating a work coach. Here's another little tip I did on AI. I'm trying to lose weight. Obviously, a lot of us are. And so what I would do is I would take a photo of my meal. So I've called it weight loss coach. And I'm using ChatGPT here right now. And again, they're not directories, they're just different chats, but you want to stay within each chat. All right. And so what I would do is I take a photo of the food before I ate the food, a photo of the food after I ate the food, and it would tell me exactly the number of calories that I've consumed. Almost like pretty smartly actually. And then I would track that for about 2, 3 weeks. And then that's telling me now, oh, you don't have enough vitamin D, you don't have enough protein, you need to increase this. It's absolutely fascinating if you have an AI mindset and you use AI intelligently. Yes, you do have to spend the $20 a month. Okay, you do have to spend that. But if you can use it intelligently, you can use it to help improve the quality of your life. You can use it to help extend your life. You can use it to help make you more wealth. Of course, we talked a lot about that. and you can use it to help improve your directories like Ryan did and save time. I think that's pretty cool. AI is definitely one of the key things on this article that we're
Do
talking
you
about.
want to hear an
Michael?
advanced one,
Yeah.
Colin, when you're ready?
Yeah. Far away there, Jason. Then I'll chime in, then we'll come down to Pierre.
And entrepreneurs are also movie makers, filmmakers. This might be one that you don't have unless you're looking in to get into that. And let me know if you are, Colin, because I'm doing this stuff in Canada and I don't see many of us. But here's the thing: when you watch a movie or a show, you could just watch it and enjoy it. But this is high level. You could ask AI, what are the top 10 reasons that was a really good classic, or if you think it was a good movie. I just watched a really good movie, love story, made me cry. And because I want to make movies, I said, what are the top 10 reasons that was a very good love story? Okay, now what this does is it takes the emotion out of it, and it takes the sentimentality out. There are actually techniques that they used in Titanic and in a lot of these different movies, and then you learn the techniques. And if you do that for 10 years, you can be an amazing screenwriter. And I'm going to be teaching.
Yeah. How true. How true. That's great to hear that, Jason. Yeah, I'll tell you what I use AI for as not necessarily a life hack there, Colin, but this is a hack that I used yesterday. I had two legal documents. I dumped them into AI and I said, from my perspective of my company, what are the pros and cons of this particular contract? And then I just began asking it questions about it. And then it asked like how to improve it and everything like that. And obviously I reread every clause and that sort of stuff, but it was just so easy. Like it really was very easy to go through it all and double check it and everything like that. I'm a firm believer you've got to double check things. Like it did make some mistakes, and so I fixed them, but it was great. So there's many hacks out there. So if you're just joining the conversation right now, you're listening to the Complete Entrepreneur, a part of Startup.club, and we're looking at life hacks. And Pierre, I know you've been patient there. What are some of your life hacks as an entrepreneur?
Hey, I was going to say good morning. Good afternoon. Interesting topic. The hacks, I think that no matter where you are in entrepreneurship, have to be things that are coming up repeatedly. I like what's been shared so far. I think for me, what has helped me, I've had a lot more background. And when I say background, I say more like the personal hacks that I try to do to save time and not get too consumed with errands. I actually joked with somebody. I said, errands is as bad of a drug as anything else, because if you're on small teams or a solopreneur, those errands can seem important, but they aren't necessarily. You have to be a little strategic about when you actually set aside time to get certain things done. For example, if I'm trying to get simple stuff like the detergent and cleaning supplies and that type of stuff, I do try to look at places not far from where I'm living to save me time from driving or trying to get around. I remember I was in New York. I made a strategic decision to stay in my apartment. I got laid off at 6 months after joining a advertising team, and I was mad about that, frankly. But one of the reasons I stayed in that apartment, it was a old hospital that had been converted into apartments. And you had a bodega, there was a nice restaurant, not just across the quarter, across the street. I could go down the elevator and walk across. If I needed a break, I could do that. But I tried to pick things where it would save me time trying to get those errands done. I think within the business, I liked what Ryan talked about with Claude Code. I have not had a chance to apply it to my desktop. There are AI tools that will allow you to do that now. But I think what you want to do is always think about strategically about what activities you're doing and how repeated they are. Because I think the ones that are very simple but necessary, like maybe replacing your registration on your car, that's a one-time thing during the year. That's a simple one. But it's the ones that you are doing day in and day out that you need to group together and put to some sort of time block to address it as best as possible. I'm not suggesting that people don't do that, but you'd be surprised how much time you can win back if it's planned and looked at very correctly. I think a lot of times I think casually people don't do that, But I think as an entrepreneur, you want to think about those things as well. One last thing I'll say about the logos and the shirts. Now, I've never done that for my business. There just has not been a need to do it because most times people are looking for specific answers for things. This is not a diss. I hope it doesn't come across as a negative. I think the logos on clothing becomes important when you have a small team and you're going to conferences all the time, i.e., that repetitive thing. I think that's a good. I think Colin has a good point about the branding, about how people remember you. And then I think the other thing about it is that for your the other part where I think is helpful is when you can put something on, say, socks or a playful shirt that your customers would love to have and maybe make their own at a certain level. I think there's an opportunity there for that. I think those are two big things. But if you're doing services, particularly B2B, a lot of times customers will more remember you for how you answer certain things, I think to a certain extent. So I'll say that there. I know I'm taking up a little bit of time, but I'll say that and land there.
Fantastic, Pierre. Fantastic, Pierre. Thank you for that. It really is. It's good hearing from you. And I think your definition around repeatability is a very good one. Yeah, and getting places that are close to you and stuff like that is fantastic. Which brings up another point, another life hack I do is I block my time out. And I'm very rigorous with this. There's a couple of things I do. No one is I don't have a list of things to do. What I do is when I get something, I decide then and there, is this something I want to commit to? And if it is, then I allocate time in my schedule. If it's not something I want to commit to, then I forget it. Yeah, so I allocate time to all my items. So my list becomes my schedule. And I in that schedule, if I've got a lot of little things, then I allocate a block of time. So I say, okay, there's a lot of little things on this I've got to deal with. Then I allocate it, block it all out. And or if it stops me from thrashing of starting something, getting it half done, having to go to something else, getting it half done, go something else, having half time, come back to the first thing and doing a little bit of that and everything. That just drives me crazy. So I block my time out. And this does a couple of things. One is it allows me to focus on the things in the list. It's like I've allocated it, therefore it must be important. But only that, it says there's a stop time. In other words, you have to get this done, Michael, within this time frame. Therefore, you will do it in that time frame. And that's something I use to really help me out a lot in managing all the different things I end up doing, which is challenging. As entrepreneurs, we juggle a lot of stuff. But AJ, you've been really patient there. Love to hear your thoughts on this, AJ, on this great topic on founder life hacks. Over to you, AJ.
All good. Hey Pierre, how are you doing, man?
Always good to see you, AJ. Go ahead.
It's all good. I'm here in London. It's 10:30 in the evening, just to give you some perspective. But yeah, I was listening to the clothing hacks, and yes, I appreciate the clothing hacks. I'm a bit of a hoarder when it comes to my clothes, but I do like to look smart. I do like to look good. So with the fashion stuff, it just depends on which way you wanna swing. Because in some respects, my style, my fashion grabs people's attention, and attention is good if you're gonna use it, if you're gonna take advantage of that attention. And then other times I know it can prevent me from getting ready very quickly because I'm quite tedious with the tie matching and the tie pin matching and all this kind of stuff. So I get it when I saw Steve Jobs, his fashion sense, or I got it when I saw Mark Zuckerberg with the one t-shirt. I get it, but it's not my thing, but I do get it. I do get it with the fashion stuff. But yeah, so don't let it plague you guys. If you're very fashion conscious and letting clothes take over, don't let it get to my stage anyway, because I probably just need rehab. But I let it work to my advantage. I'm also going to say a quick, if you have a messy desktop, on your computer, put a number one in the chat. And if you don't have a messy desktop, just put a zero in the chat. So if you have a messy desktop, put number one in the chat. If you don't have a messy desktop, put zero, and I'll see how many ones come up, and then I'll say a particular hack in a second. Just two more. Don't I would also say don't sweat AI too much. don't sweat AI too much. I know everybody's on AI and telling people what to do. Use it. You've got to get on it. Blah blah blah. I like Warren Buffett's way of investing. And Warren Buffett's way of investing is he just doesn't invest in anything he doesn't understand. And when he said that, this is Warren Buffett here, for someone like that to say that, I'm like, wow, like I really love when people just honest and you feel honesty in what they're saying. And I feel that the same way with AI, where if you don't fully understand it, don't sweat it. Yeah, if the rest of the world is using it to their advantage, that's because they've taken time and it's like they're like ducks to water, so to speak. But if you don't really fully get it, you don't need to sweat it. Just do it in your own time, or maybe you're fine without it. Maybe you're doing just fine. I'm sure there's plenty of the planet that is getting on just fine without the AI or the AI hacks or the AI education. So I would say just don't sweat it too much, and when you're ready to learn to swim. That's my thing on AI. And then my last one would be the spending. Look at when it comes to spending, in if I go into a supermarket, this is how I spend. I look at the grams. I look at how much and a lot of people don't do this. A lot of people look at the price, and I'm a person who looks at what I am getting for my grams, for my kg or for my g, whatever, because in the UK, the supermarkets actually tell you how much you're paying per gram underneath the price. So a lot of people sometimes will, if they see a packet of biscuits and they see one's £2 and one's £1, they would buy the £1 one because they feel that the £1 one is the cheaper one. That must be the bargain. But you might be paying more for the grams than you would with the £2 one. So I don't really care what the price is of an item. I just worry about what am I getting for my buck, basically. And generally that's underneath the price. So that's another way of just saving a bit of money. I had to do that with my ex-girlfriend. We'd go shopping and I'd spend more. I'd make her, she would say, I don't usually spend this much on shopping. And I say, let me fill the cupboards and we won't come shopping next week because I'm going to show you how to spend it, so you don't have to you don't have to go shopping for the next couple of weeks, instead of doing what she would do, which is shopping every week, because even though she's spending a small amount, she's visiting the supermarket more regularly because she's spending more on items that are going to finish quickly, or and make her fat as well. So there's that. I'll come back with the. I'll come back. I'll check the chat room, the chat, Michael, and I'll come back and see how many ones there are and how many zeros there are with regards to
Sounds
this.
good. Sounds good there, AJ. Some great ideas there. Here's a hack for business and also for personal, and similar to what AJ was talking about a little bit. Is one of the things I do is I pay attention to what is meaningful, but and not the noise. So what do I mean by that? So a classic example, I had my accountant give me a call, and he said, and they said, can you please tell me what this $83 expense is? I need to know what this so I can allocate it. And I said to them, pardon me? And they said, what's this $83 expense? And I said to them, I just want to make something really clear. I don't want you ever to call me up about an $83 expense ever again. I'll let you make the decision of what you think it is, or you can talk to another member of my team, which I directed them to. But do not talk to me about an $83 expense. If it's a $5,000 expense, fine, it can come up to me. But 83 bucks, no, it's noise. One of the challenges as a CEO and a founder is that everyone escalates everything up to you, and you end up with so much just crap everywhere, like in your day, and dealing with little stupid things like that. What you've got to do is empower people to make decisions. And so, one of the first things I did when I bought my business partner out, for example, is that I went along and empowered my team. And that's a life hack. And I said, you can make at this particular level, make a $10,000 above or below decision and don't even reference me. I didn't want to know. Or the other one was, here's another hack: the travel policy of the company. My previous business partner, he was very detailed oriented to the next level, right? And so he had all these different rules and all that sort of stuff. It just drove me crazy. So I said to my team, I've now developed a new travel policy. And they, I could see them all go, oh no. And the travel policy was, I trust my team to make sensible decisions. That was it. I've saved so much money by that one policy. It's unbelievable. I've saved so much money and just saying something like that. So there's a few hacks here. I think Steve Jobs calls it signal to noise. He called it that, signal to noise. And how much noise do you have intruding into your life versus signal, and which is things that are really meaningful. And I do it in a personal life as well, is how do I go ahead and reduce the noise? And so in my personal life, I'm doing something I enjoy. I can be fully embracing that thing I'm enjoying versus having just the minutiae of things assailing me. But anyway, let's come down to Elaine, is that right? Down here. Love to get your thoughts on that. And if you can pronounce your name, that would be great.
Hey, Michael. My name's Aline.
An old
Aline.
regular.
Okay.
Yes.
Aline.
Hey, Colin. Thanks for
Aline,
having
I'm
me.
so sorry, Aline. My
No,
apologies.
thank
It's
you for
great to have you
asking.
here.
No, thanks for having me.
No,
So,
not a problem.
a couple come to mind, and some circle around the conversation that has taken place. So, one around the clothing item and also around health in general. Because when we think of founder life, at least from my perspective, I don't just think of it from a business productivity or a strategic perspective or that business execution side. I think about it holistically. If I'm not health wise, if I'm not taking care of that, then I'm not going to be able to show up for my business. One of them is leaving out your workout clothing, your workout outfit for the next day. I cannot stress enough how much of a difference this has made for me, because one is a visual cue. The minute I wake up, I'm like, oh, yep, I'm going to the gym, or I'm taking care of myself from a health perspective at some point today. And then it just makes it easier. It's already nice and laid out for me. It's ready to grab, it's ready to go. So that really has helped from one side. The second is habit stacking, and habit stacking for small habits. So I'll share a life example and then transfer that to a business example. But from a life perspective, every morning I wake up and I'm going to either make myself coffee or tea, right? So when I do that, those are two precious minutes, and if you actually take time to reflect on how long 2 minutes are, it's a lot of time. I could just sit there in the kitchen waiting for those 2 minutes to be up while my water or my milk is heating, or I can do something else and stack the habit, because I already have the habit of making this coffee or tea. So now I'm going to go ahead and do squats in the kitchen, or I'm going to go ahead and wash the dishes, or I'm going to go ahead and insert whatever thing resonates with you. And the same applies for business. As you sit down to write your quarterly goals or your quarterly objectives, then go ahead, and the next action is sending out the emails immediately. So then the goal takes shape into an action. And that's another one. And then the third that was mentioned with time blocking, which I'm also a fan of myself, Michael, is timers. Yeah, Pomodoro is a popular timer, but I think
Yeah.
we get too caught up in a specific style that works for specific people. Just figure out what works for you. Sometimes my brain just needs to hear, you're going to sit down and do this for 5 minutes, and then an hour later I'm still at it. If I would have told myself, you're going to sit down and do this for an hour, I would be like, nope, not today. I'm not showing up for this for an hour. Find ways to trick your brain, if you will, for lack of a better term. But those are just a couple that come to mind. Back to you, Michael.
Look, Elaine, I really love your habit stacking. I do exactly that. When I'm making my coffee, I'm doing the dishes. When I'm making my coffee, I'm emptying the dishwasher. I'm doing something else all the time, because to me, I'm always thinking about what else can I do at the same time as that. That's the way I'm built, but I love that. But anyway, so it's been great. My goodness, it's we're coming to the downhill stretch here, and we're looking at the topic of founder life hacks. Founder life hacks. Colin, I'd love to
I see
come back to you.
AJ's flashing there.
What's a Oh, AJ, thank
Yeah, so
you.
I was just coming back. So there was a couple of ones in the chat with regards to people who have messy desktops, right? So just this, honestly, if you're not doing this already, I'm quite surprised. If you have a messy desktop, that means you have files and folders that you just you just dump them on your desktop. And I always look over my interns' shoulders and I look at them and I tap them on the shoulder and I say, I bet your bedroom looks like that. And I don't like to see messy desktops at all. It just shows it. To me, it reveals somebody's life to me. That's what it reveals. So anyway, for those who have a messy desktop, one of the quickest and simplest things to do, Create a folder on the desktop called desktop and just take everything on the desktop and dump it in there. There's no difference. There's no difference from having it in a folder all messy than having it on the desktop messy. So that's a quick hack. And then
Yeah.
another plus one on top of that is what you can do is you can still work from the desktop. And if you go into your desktop folder, and you work from something, take it out and then put that back on the clean desktop. And that shows you, and then all the files that are now back on the desktop, on the actual front facing computer desktop, those are the ones that you actually use.
Yeah, there's some good ideas there. That's for sure. I think that the other one, like has been talked about, is that I get my workout clothes ready the night before, and I put them literally just outside the bedroom door, so I'm going to trip over them. If I That reminds me, yeah, you're doing your workout today, yeah, and I'm going to stare at you and I'm going to look at you until you put these things on, and when you've got them on, you've got to do your workout, and that's all there is to it. So that's one of the things I do. The other thing is always make your bed. I always make my bed, and it's just a ritual. It's like you look at you go into your bedroom or something like that later on. You go, this looks good. I always make my bed. And or another life hack. Here's another one. When I'm traveling, put your things in exactly the same spot for every hotel room. I've
Especially your
seen
passport.
some people add. Oh yeah, it's just everything is just regimented. Like I've seen some people, you happen to glance into their room or something like that, whatever, and it's looked like an explosion's occurred and their case has just gone everywhere. Yeah, I'm absolutely regimented about what I do. To actually pack up to go on to the airport or something like that takes me about 30 seconds. I have the same spot for if I possibly can for all of my charging, the same spot for where my computer goes. I deal with everything exactly the same. I never have everything just cast to the four winds and everything. I just don't do that because it's just that's how you lose stuff. And you don't find things and all that sort of stuff, and you leave it behind, and it's gone forever. But yeah, so lots of life hacks. So, Colin, you got a few more there.
Yeah, I got a few more. I feel like we might have to do a part two of this one next Thursday
Oh, I
because
think we will.
this article is going to be epic. We're going to have 48 life hacks for entrepreneurs, and it's going to be number one on Google. Every article we do now is number one on Google. I think I have the ultimate. Okay, and what I like is a life hack where you can. It's a hack in your life, and it also somehow applies to business. Lay out your sports clothing in advance. I thought that was brilliant, and the one I have is delegate responsibilities, not tasks. Okay,
Oh,
so
I
let me explain this
completely
one a
agree
little
with
bit,
you on that
okay?
one, Colin.
But I'm going
Yeah.
to pull it into the life hack world, okay? I'm going to pull it into my own personal world. And I've done that for 25 years now. And I'm in a bit of an extreme case, okay? So I admit that. And I'm not going to try to like assume that everyone has what I have. So that can sometimes get me a little bit into trouble here. I'm driving at the same time, multitasking. But delegate responsibilities versus tasks is a concept that I wrote about in the book Start, Scale, Exit, Repeat. It was probably one of the most key concepts. My wife and I, we own a school here in Fort Lauderdale, and she does not understand this concept. She's up at 3 o'clock in the morning every single night. She is so stressed out. She has 16 parents, 16 employees, teachers, and about 60 parents and about 100 students. And it's very challenging for her. And she really hasn't caught on to this idea. And she's up at 3 o'clock in the morning every single night. This is something that every entrepreneur faces. But when we learn to delegate responsibilities, not tasks, we learn to let it go. So today, now one thing about us, like we're here at Startup Club, we are running. We're not like some freaking. We have some master class and there's some professor here and all this shit, whatever. What we do is real.
And we're doing it real right now. We just launched a Kickstarter on Pod.com, just launched a Kickstarter 2 days ago. That's what tomorrow's show is about at 2 o'clock. Love to have you all here, Magnificent, and everyone talk about this Kickstarter live. Like we're doing this shit live. We have to raise $20,000 in 30 days, and we raised $10,000 in 2 days already. So like we're doing. Maybe I probably would have talked about it if we weren't doing so well. But the reality is, it's live, and I'm not worried about that. Not my problem. I don't think about it. I slept really well last night. But guess who did not? Michelle Van Tilburg. She's the CEO of that company. I'm the majority shareholder, but she's the CEO. But let's pull this into our personal life. For the last 25 years, I've never paid a bill. I'm not involved in my own personal home. I know this is going to sound really weird for a few people, but I'm going to take it back a little bit. So I know not everybody can go this extreme, but there can be some steps that you can actually take where you delegate responsibilities, not tasks, within your own personal life. Okay. One is, for me, it was delegating the house and my houses. And I have a lot of people coming, visiting, a lot of meetings and all that kind of stuff. That's all managed, it's all dealt with. I don't think about that. If the hot tub doesn't work, or if the air conditioning doesn't work, or if the whatever, I just send a text to my household manager and she works on it. If I need something done, it's complete. A bill, I've never paid a bill in 25 years. Never paid a bill. Never seen a bill in 25 years. Now, this sounds radical. I know this is going to sound very radical for a lot of people here. But here's what I told my daughter and my son. I said, here's what you need to do. First of all, my daughter just got a job at TELUS. She's making $100,000 a year working in AI. My son's doing something similar. He's in commercial real estate. I said, just one day a week, hire somebody to clean your house. Trust me, one day a week. If that one person one day a week is cleaning your house and they're making, let's just say they charge you $30 an hour, and yet you're making $50 or $60 an hour doing what you do and what you love, then that is what you should focus your time on. If you love cleaning, by the way, I'm not saying you shouldn't do this. Like everyone's got to do this. Everyone's going to take this. But the first step is outsource one day a week and then step it up from there. If you can go one day a week, and you outsource all of the cleaning. We've outsourced all the cleaning, cooking, house, everything. My wife and I, now understand my wife runs a school. Okay. So it's not like we're lazy people here. It's not like I'm sitting here saying we don't do this. I'm involved in, yeah, of course I'm involved in 20 companies, and we're not lazy. We just happen to want to focus on what we want to focus on. So we delegate responsibilities, not tasks. And
Yeah,
that's a life hack that's changed
yeah,
my life. And ultimately, I truly believe has made me much more wealthier than I am today because I believed in that philosophy 25 years ago.
yeah, Colin. I completely agree with you on that. Yeah, and
It's a hard
delegating
one though, isn't it? Because
responsibilities, not tasks.
not a lot of people have that
Oh,
opportunity, right?
yeah, I'm the same. We don't clean our house, right? We have a person that comes in. I haven't paid a personal bill in 30 years. I just haven't
The
paid one.
concept of just delegating out some of your personal
Yeah,
tasks, like once a week, to have someone clean your house, to do something that
yep.
and they're happy to do it, and you're happy to do what you do, and you make a lot more money. Now, if your after tax income is lower than what you're paying that person, it's a debatable case there at that point. But if
Yeah.
you're making a lot more money, or if you're applying yourself as an entrepreneur in the right direction, and you're letting those other things go. And by the way, it's not about the money. I tried to explain that with my wife up at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's not about the money. It's about not thinking about it. I'm not stressed out about the house. I'm not stressed out about anything in my
Well,
personal life. And
ha-
Michael knows this. Michael's
ha-
been to my house. He's stayed at my
yeah,
house a number of
yeah.
times. So he knows exactly what I'm talking about here. Like, I'm not,
But
it's all
hang
about
on a
the
second.
stress.
Like,
It's not about the money.
but hang on, Colin. If there's a problem with the hot tub, that's a very stressful situation.
Exactly.
But anyway, all jokes aside, there, completely agree. I think we're going to run another one of these shows, Colin, Founder Life Hacks, because I keep on thinking one after the other, and we haven't even had time, and yet we've run out of time. You've been listening to The Complete Entrepreneur. It's a show that we run as a part of Startup.club every single week at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And look, it is. It's a great show. We've been doing it for quite a few years, both Colin and I. And the reason why it's great is not because of us; it's because of you. We do it for other entrepreneurs. We do it for, and it's great having the likes of AJ and Pierre and Jason. By the way, AJ, I'm going to be in London in a couple of weeks' time, but it's really
Come
good just
and say
hearing from
hello,
people.
man. Holler at me. Come and say hello. Come and say hello.
Oh, that'd be
Got to go to
cool.
a pub. It's a great time of year to go to a
Yeah,
pub and get a drink.
exactly. But yeah, so it's a great show because we try to deal with just not just the mechanics of being an entrepreneur. We try to deal with the life of an entrepreneur and dealing with things like life hacks and everything like that. It's a great fun topic. And I just want to highlight Colin Campbell. Colin has written a book, Start, Scale, Exit, Repeat. If you have not got that book, whether you listen to it as a podcast or this as a podcast or you're in here today, go to Amazon, get that book. It's won over 39 awards now. Has it gone up now, Colin?
No, we're at 39.
39. So it's won 39 awards. Go and get the book.
I'm
Look, put it
teasing.
this way,
It's
he's not going to retire off the money from being a great author and all that sort of stuff. But the book is awesome. It really is. It's an outstanding book. I think it's going to become the Bible of entrepreneurship. It's packed full of so many stories as a result of like over 200 different interviews and everything like that. Look, just go and get it. I'm singing his praises. I don't get anything with doing that other than he's a great friend and he's done something
Thank you.
amazing for the entrepreneurial community. So
I
go
will
ahead and go
add. I
get
will
that.
add, Michael. I will add that next week, next Friday, we have a special announcement that's coming out. It's going to be the Scale
Oh,
Book workbook.
oh,
18 months. 8 months in
fantastic.
the making. 18 months with our staff
Fantastic.
at Startup Club. It's incredible. We work with two
Oh,
other
that is,
companies. We work with the Sales Playbook from Dan Larson, Jack Daly, with Patrick Beaton from Rhythm Systems. Anyway,
yep,
we'll talk.
that
We'll
is
talk to you
great.
later. Bye.
Anyway, so we'll see you all next week on The Complete Entrepreneur. May you have a wonderful time in your business. God bless you all. See you later. Bye.